What's up, you guys? This is Josh C, and my family and I have called Northern Colorado, or NOCO, home for the past 8 years. We're not natives to Colorado, having grown up and lived in Texas most of our lives, but we absolutely love living here. I'm a real estate agent here in the area and a former educator of 12 plus years. So if you're thinking about a move, I'd love to chat. I'm your guy. Before we start, I'd absolutely love if you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. It really would mean a lot to me. Also, leave any comments, questions, feedback, anything, what you liked, what you didn't like in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to all you guys. Also, leave any future video ideas that you might like to. In the coming weeks, I'll be posting videos about the various communities that make up Northern Colorado, so you can get a good feel of what community you might like to call home. Before we dive into the top 7 reasons why you should live in Northern Colorado, let me break down a little bit about where Northern Colorado is. Colorado is basically a square or a rectangle, depending on who you ask. With your major cities, you start at the very southern tip of Colorado. You've got Pueblo, then moving up north, you've got Colorado Springs, then Denver, then Fort Collins, and then Fort Collins is about 30 miles south of the Wyoming border. I-25 or Interstate 25 runs the entire length north-south of the state of Colorado. It's essentially the backbone or the spine of Colorado. You can get from the southernmost tip of Colorado, which is about Trinidad as you're coming into the state, to the very north or the Wyoming border in 5 or 6 hours, to give you kind of a frame of reference. Now obviously that depends on stops, bathroom breaks, traffic, etc., but it kind of gives you an idea. Now it depends on who you ask. But for me, in my opinion, Northern Colorado starts in the city of Longmont, which is about 30 minutes north of Denver. So Longmont is the southern tip of Northern Colorado, all the way up to Wellington, which is just shy of the Wyoming border. That's gonna be your common north border as far as significant sized town goes. On the east, you've got Greeley, and on the west, you have Estes Park, and you can see it on this map here. Okay, now that you've got a picture of where Northern Colorado is, let's dive into the top 7 reasons why you should live in Northern Colorado. Number 7, low property taxes. Comparatively speaking, Colorado has relatively low property taxes compared to states like Texas and the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I'm from. Here in Colorado, you're gonna spend upwards of 4 times less in property taxes every year than you would for the same price square footage home in North Texas or the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Translation, you can afford a bigger house or a more expensive home here in Northern Colorado than you could that same square footage size in North Texas. Number 6, the jobs. Northern Colorado, during the recession back in 2008 and 2009, many of you may remember that, Northern Colorado was almost recession-proof. A lot of that is because of our wonderful tech industry, healthcare. We have a major research university, CSU, or Colorado State University, in the city of Fort Collins. And a lot of that has helped people maintain jobs, get new jobs, create jobs, you name it. And really here in Northern Colorado, there's a little bit of everything. Fort Collins, for instance, is the largest city in Northern Colorado, which is about 175,000 people. So not a huge city like Denver, but not a tiny town that you might be used to. But if you're interested and that's a feel you like more of that small town vibe, that rural community, there's plenty of that. For instance, my family and I, we live in a small town about 30 minutes east of Fort Collins. It's a farming and ranching community, and it's 3,000-4,000 people. It's not a lot, but we love it. We love the quiet, the seclusion. The people are fantastic, but we also love the idea that we're very close to Fort Collins, about 30 minutes, and then to the south of us, or I should say to the north of us, about 10 minutes or so, is the city of Greeley, about 100,000 people. So we're right in the mix of everything that we desire to be. But if you need that city life, you need to be in the middle of it all, there are definitely those cities in Northern Colorado that you can gravitate towards and be right where the action is. Number 5, the breweries. Northern Colorado and Colorado in general, but especially Northern Colorado, has a ton of breweries. It really started with New Belgium back in the early 90s. You've probably heard of New Belgium, you've probably seen the iconic bicycle on their logo, but they started here in Fort Collins in Northern Colorado. Among them, you've got Odell's, you've got microbreweries like Equinox, you've got Left-Handed Brewery down in Longmont, which is the southern tip of Northern Colorado, and then countless microbrews all throughout. With those breweries comes food trucks, and there are a plethora of food trucks that traverse all around northern Colorado that you can get just about anything from. Number 4, pet friendly. This is one thing when we had a dog that really attracted my wife and I to northern Colorado is there are dogs everywhere, and not just dogs, but animals in general, but dogs, you get the idea. And their owners seem to take them everywhere. And I'm not talking just the big box stores, you get the idea with the concrete floors where you get lumber and things like that, but to small little boutiques, to shops, to Target, to the grocery store, I'm not kidding. And then restaurants as well, they're very friendly to your 4-legged fur babies. And if you love eating outside, which who wouldn't, we'll get to the outside here in a bit, but a lot of people enjoy dining outside on a patio, especially during these times. That's kind of what we're limited to wherever we might live. But a lot of times you'll have that wrought iron fencing that will separate the sidewalk from the patio. You can have your pooch on the other side with their very own water bowl that their restaurant will provide, and they can enjoy that third dessert with you. Number 3, the outdoors. Colorado is known for the outdoors. You see photos all the time, videos of Rocky Mountains. So whether you like to hike, snowshoe, ski, snowboard, kayak, waterboard, you name it. Typically in northern Colorado, you're within a few minutes or a couple of hours at the very most to any of those favorite areas. You really can't not be in the outdoors. You're kind of forced into it, which is another reason to move here too, is the health factor. There are a lot of healthy people that live in Colorado because they're surrounded by people that love the outdoors. They love to exercise, not just a traditional exercise indoors, but they love to be outside with nature, with the serenity of everything. Number 2, the weather. Another thing that drew my wife and my family and I to Colorado, and specifically northern Colorado, is the weather. Colorado is very desert-like, and we don't have deserts per se, but it's just dry. Yeah, we get our fair share of snow in the winter, and there's snow on the ground actually right now as I'm filming this video, but there's low to no humidity. Now, I don't have that problem with my hair because I'm follically challenged, as you can tell, but a lot of people, there's not that humidity where you feel like you took a shower, you go outside and you gotta come back in and take another shower because you're just gross. That's the wonderful thing I love about northern Colorado specifically, is that low to no humidity. It's about 25 degrees outside right now. To many people, if you live in the Midwest or the Northeast or a more humid climate, that's gonna be bone-chilling cold. But for me, and for anybody that lives up here in northern Colorado, it's pleasant. You can go outside in jeans and maybe a short sleeve shirt for a little while. A lot of people do it, and you're not cold because there's the altitude, number 1, that helps, but really that low to no humidity, which is a big factor to the weather. And the number 1 reason why you should want to live in northern Colorado is it's just a great place to live. Cities in northern Colorado are constantly ranked in all the rankings and all the publications out there for the best places to live, the best places to be single, the best places to raise a family, the best places for jobs. The list really goes on and on and on and on and on. So communities like Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, and then all the smaller quaint towns in between, the farms, the ranches, the mountains, you name it. This is really a great place to just be you and to take that next step in life wherever you may be. Fort Collins is always ranked near the top of the best places to just live, period. People are just happy here. So that wraps up our top 7 reasons to live in northern Colorado. If you liked what you saw, if you liked what you heard, I'd really appreciate it if you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button and then ring the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. And if you're considering a move to northern Colorado, or really just Colorado in general, hit me up with a call, a text. All my contact information is in the description box below, all my social media platforms, or really just any questions you might have. Remember, comment below on anything you liked, that you didn't like, future video ideas, and I'll make sure I post content about what you guys like to hear, because this is really why I do this. It's because of you. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Until next time.